Hi guys, and welcome to another tutorial. So this one is a really quick one, but following on from the lip balm covers, I decided to make a little mini series. So these ones are little Easter baskets. Aren't they cute? Really easy to make, and you can put any kind of button on. This one happens to be a bow. It just undoes just like that, just so you can pop your, and it even's got its own little buttonhole. Like that, isn't it cute? So I'm not going to show you how to make the bottom. The bottom is the exact same as the previous tutorial on the lip balm covers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop a annotation in the top corner to show you that if you haven't seen that video, or you want to make one of these and you haven't made it yet, to go and make that. And then you're going to come back once you've made your bottom half and we'll do the rest. Okay, so a list of materials for today's tutorial. A crochet hook. This one is a 3mm, but any crochet hook will do. Obviously, the smaller the crochet hook, smaller the work. The bigger the crochet hook, the bigger the work. A stitch marker or a scrap piece of yarn, if you so wish. A button. Any kind of button. This one happens to be a bow. A darning needle. And some 4-ply yarn. This one is a beautiful brown to match the tutorial. So that's my 8 rows here with my crochet hook. And I've got a variety of buttons. These ones, you can buy any buttons you like. Any buttons from your stash of old shirts. You can buy any fancy buttons at most haberdashery places. So these are just happens to be ones in my stash. So there's a little bow, which is the one I used for the last on this little one, because quite often Easter baskets have like ribbons and bows hanging off them when they put Easter eggs inside, so that's quite a nice idea. But I've also got a little flower, which is nice and spring like. So I think I'm going to use the flower this time. So we'll pop that to the side for now. So in order to make your handle, you want to put your crochet hook into the loop of where your last row ended. So this is a row of 8 here. So what we're going to do is you're now going to count. You can do 5 single crochets across. Now what you can do is you can add a yarn stitch marker. So we'll do that. So we're going to go, we're going to go 1. And I'm going to place my stitch marker in there. Go 2, 3, 4 and 5, like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to turn our work. So we're now looking at the back, but we've still got our stitch marker in, and we're going to do a single crochet in that last stitch we just did. No chains, nothing, just a single crochet. So that's the first one. 2, 3, 4. And taking your stitch marker out of that last one. 5. Now you can add your stitch marker all the way across if you're one for not remembering where you are. but it becomes quite clear. So at the end of this row, we're just going to turn it round and we're going to do the same again. We're just going to do 5 single crochets across, and you should be ending up now on this third row. You should end up, make sure you get that 5th one in. You should end up now almost like a little tab. You can see that it's now sticking up above the round here. So, and you're just going to do that for, in my case, 16 rows, but it does depend on your tension. If your tension, like mine, is very tight, then it's possible 16 rows would be perfect. But if you're crocheting just that little bit looser, then it's possible that you either might need slightly less stitches, but that's perfectly okay. It's not a set thing, a set stitch. So carry on until you reach the end of your basket, so it goes all the way around. So get to that point where it reaches the bottom of your thing, and we'll meet you back here. Okay guys, so welcome back. So by now, if you've paused the video, you should end up with a very long strip. This is 16 rows long. So if you're not sure, just pop your lip balm in and just make sure it overlaps just on that first row here. You see, it's just overlapping, which is perfect. That's exactly what we want. Now we're going to make the buttonhole. So turn your work whichever way you need to start your next row, and you're going to single crochet in that first chain. Okay, and then you're going to chain 6. And then you're going to ignore all the other single crochets but the last one, so that's your 5th thing. And you're just going to single crochet like you would if you've just single crocheted all the way across. So that secures your chain. You're going to turn your work and you're going to do that first single crochet, and then you're going to single crochet across this chain, so into that first chain. And I know it's a little difficult, sometimes you have to wiggle your crochet hook around to be able to get in there, but I promise it will work. So all you're doing is you're just literally into the chain and doing a single crochet across through all the chains, and once you reach that last chain, you're going to single crochet into the top of that single crochet that you started, you anchored your chain with. So you should end up with a nice little rounded end, and your button should just about fit through. If it doesn't fit through, then you have to just take that bit back and just increase your chains by a couple. It shouldn't take much. Okay, and then what you want to do is you're just going to slip stitch into the next stitch and pull up. And this is where I like to anchor my work off. So I'm going to leave a fairly decent tail, and I just like to go back through all my work, securing my stitches. So all the way, making sure that that tail is well and truly secure, because there's nothing worse than when you finished your project for it to unravel. So just go through closest you can to the last one you did, pulling it through, making sure that you get it nice and secured. And when you think you're happy with it secured, you can trim the tail off. So you should end up with a rather odd looking shape here. See? Kind of looks a bit like a tail. So what you want to do is you want to pick up your darning needle. So you need your darning needle, and you need just cut off a little bit of yarn. You won't need too much. And what you want to do is you want to pop your lip balm in, and you want to make sure that you know roughly where your button needs to go. Now what I like to do is I like to make sure everything's in place, and I just like to poke my yarn stitch marker into the hole that I can see. See, so there's my thing, and I can push that over. So that's now stuck where my button needs to be. So take your lip balm out. Now you don't have to turn yours inside out, but I like to turn mine inside out, and I like to sew from the inside first. So I'm going to pick up my button. I'm going to pull out my yarn stitch marker, and I'm just going to pop my button through. So I just want to make sure that I can see the loop. Now this one's got quite a big plastic loop here. So, and all I'm going to do is stitch through the loop, leaving a little bit of a tail here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the next stitch and push my needle through that loop again. Can you see that? Just so that you've secured it. Then, when I've got that in there, I'm then going to pass my needle just through the loop and pull. And when I've got thing, I'm then going to pass my needle through, and I'm going to pull down, and I'm going to just push my needle to the other side. Please ignore the cat who's suddenly woken up. There we go. And you just want to make sure that that button's secured. It's going to be slightly different from the normal button that you'd sew on clothing, but you just want to make sure it's secured, and it's going to take a bit of tugness and tension to really get it tight in there. But you still want to be able to move the button around. So just keep going through until you're pretty sure that you're not going to get any of it wobbling around. You see, I'm struggling to pull that needle through now, so that's perfect. So I'm going to end my thread off there, as close to the button as I can, and just pull the thread through my work like I normally would, even if I had a crochet hook, just making it all nice and secure. And then I'm just gonna cut it off. This would be the time I'd also get a crochet hook with my bottom thread, which is where I started my basket in the first place. I'm just going to pull that through all the way round, securing it to make sure that it's not going anywhere. Sometimes it gets a bit difficult, especially when the thread is getting shorter, but just secure it as much as you can. And then when you think it's secured enough, you can just give it a nice little snip and it shouldn't go anywhere. So now we can turn our basket the right way. We should have a cute little button sewn on. And now we can just pop our thing and then push it through. And there you have it. One cute little Easter basket. Now I've been making tons of these. They are really cute. They're really, really sweet. And I think they're going to make great little gifts. You can even make them in lots of different colours. Not very basket-like, but still very spring-like. So there you have it. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe.